Alright, so this is Space Engineers. This is my second attempt at making this video. The first, uh, while I was recording the video, I was doing a voiceover of it while I was recording, and for some reason my video editing software doesn't have any sound when I play it. I don't know if it's the format or what. I tried a few different things. The video itself is just me just kind of showing off the game a little bit. I'm really digging it. I'm really hooked on it, and I wish I could stream it on Twitch, but as most of you probably know, my hardware isn't all that great. But it was just kind of an impromptu video anyway, because after I laid out my base here, I'm kind of showing off my base here a little bit. I really wanted to get this recorded because once the base is finished, you're not going to see a lot of the skeletal work. It'll be, all covered up once the base is done. But as soon as I put in that staircase, I was like, wow, I really like this layout. I should record this and just to be able to show it off or to go back and look at it myself. But the game's really addicting. I'm really hooked on it. It's very satisfying. It's a lot like Minecraft in some ways. The actual building of your base and your ships is kind of like Minecraft and kind of not. What you do is you go and mine your ore. You can use a hand tool to do it. You can use your drill, your hand drill, when you're starting out, or later on, once you get enough resources collected, then you can start actually using the ships themselves. The ship you just saw was my mining ship. I've only built like 2 or 3 ships. That's like my second or third one that I've built. This is the assembler. That's where the pieces are created. That's basically your chest, your cargo container. The assembler kind of works like your crafting table. When you're actually crafting the items, it's not like in Minecraft where you have to, for example, a pickaxe, you would put 3 iron ingots across the top and then 2 sticks down the middle. Works quite a bit differently in this one. Instead, the refinery, your furnace, will feed the ingots that you smelt out of the ore directly into the assembler, and the assembler, you assign whatever components you want it to build, and then you take the components out into the world and build what you want on the map. I'm not sure if it's really an alpha. I know it's not finished. They're still putting updates out for it. I think it's pretty much just they're calling it an early release. So they are, like I said, they are still putting updates out for it once a week from what I've seen, or maybe once every other week, but they're pretty frequent. And I can't get over, here, let me take a drink here. I can't get over how well made this game is. I've played a lot of early release / alpha / beta games lately, and as far as an early release game goes, this is really, really well done. Very, very few glitches that I've ran across, and the ones that I have ran across are very minor. The gravity system that they use for the engine works very well for a game like this. It's pretty phenomenal. I am playing in survival here, and you have to worry about meteors coming and crashing into your stuff. What you do is you build, defense turrets. There's 3 kinds. I have a Gatling turret right now, and in order to supply ammo for your turret, you need the magnesium, turn it into, gunpowder, and then after you have the gunpowder, you craft the bullets, and then you send the bullets up to your turret, and they burn up real quick. So it's basically a full-time job between mining the magnesium, turning it into gunpowder, crafting the bullets, and then taking them up to the turret. There is a conveyor system in here that works really well. It's fairly new from what I understand. And you can connect your assembler. See, there's my turret right there. And I have my turret connected with a conveyor. Down at the bottom is another assembler. So I have that assembler specifically just for making bullets. The conveyor will send the bullets right up to the turret when they're done. You also have, you can't really see it in frame here, it's off to the left, it's a little blue block. It's a gravity generator. There is nothing in this game generates gravity except the generator. So far, like I said, they're still updating the game. And whenever you put the gravity generator down, you know, whatever gets near it gets pulled downwards. Whichever direction you put the generator in causes it to go that direction. And you can set it to high power, low power in any direction. So like if you want a higher gravity field out to the sides, but you don't want a whole lot of gravity up high or down low, you can set that. You kind of saw it a little bit there. That's the medical room. The medical room will not only heal you, but it will also recharge your energy. Your suit requires energy for life support and for all of your equipment that you have on your person. You have your jetpack and any kind of tools that you use, like a hand drill, and you also have a grinder. And then that one other block that's left over there with the green spots on the sides is the nuclear reactor, which generates power to your entire facility. Any blocks that are connected to each other transmit power automatically. You don't have to mess with any kind of wiring or anything like that. As long as the blocks are touching, if there's any power coming from one of them, it'll transfer it to the other one. So since all my blocks are touching on my base, there's power going throughout my entire base as long as I keep that reactor stocked with uranium. And then that was a little meteor shower you just saw there for a second. My turret was shooting down the meteors. It's not very smart. The meteors do still hit my base. But you need to slowly work towards, having better defenses. And a missile turret is a better defense than a Gatling turret. And the Gatling turret is the middle one. There's also an interior turret that is the weakest. When I approach this asteroid, you'll see that once I get close to it, you'll see the names of the ores that are nearby. And there's a ore detector on my ship that allows me to do that. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to see which ores are out there. You just kind of have to go by the colors. Sometimes they're hard to tell, other times they're really easy, like gold is really easy to tell when you're mining gold. It's the only thing of that color. But like it's really hard to tell the difference between, say, uranium and silicon, and then, I don't know, iron and nickel. Just going by color is really difficult. But you can see all the icons around me that are showing me all the different ores that I can mine that are nearby. As far as the mining goes, it looks boring, but it's very satisfying. The way the rocks melt away when you're drilling them, it's really well done. And sometimes you won't catch the rocks as you drill the ore away, and they'll float off into space, and you got to catch them. It's a really fun game. I'm really hooked on it. And then, as you can see on the top of my base is another one of those beacon blocks. You can rename that. I just haven't bothered yet, I guess. I keep forgetting to do it. So I'm going to be coming in for a landing here. You kind of have to be careful with landing because everything can take damage. So like when you're blasting off in your station, you have to be careful with your thrusters, because when your thrusters hit your base, it can do damage, which isn't that big a deal. Going back and having to repair it just gets a little tedious, but you can damage your own base accidentally. Crashing into it, obviously, when you crash into stuff, it all falls apart and makes a big mess. So you really have to be careful. And there's no brakes. And I mean, there's you know backward thrusters and all that, but they only do so much if you got a lot of momentum going. Oh, and you see my landing gear when I get close enough to the ground. When I come back down, you'll see they light up yellow. I'm gonna line myself up right here. When they get close to the ground, they light up yellow. That means they can lock on, and so I hit my parking brake. I call it parking brake because it's P on the keyboard, so I hit P, and then they turn green. And that means my ship is parked and it won't move. I got 2 headlights in front. I have 3 headlights on the entire thing. Two in the front bottom, and then 1 on the top, next to the cockpit. The drill, like I was saying earlier, the drill is connected to the cargo container. That's the cargo container that I'm showing off right there. And they're directly connected, so there's no conveyor there. That's the reactor right there. You put, just like the other reactor for the base, you point at it and click K, and it'll go into the reactor. Let's see if I do it here. It'll power the entire ship. There it is. It shows I have a little bit of uranium left in there, and a little bit goes a long way with a small ship like that. You put 1 uranium in there, and you're good to go for a while. When I first started this game, I put 1 uranium in there, and I still have over 0.9. And like I said earlier, any blocks that are connected are all powered, as long as the reactor is connected to a block. Any blocks that are touching are all powered. There's another shot of the beacon. And in the cockpit, obviously, there's 3 different kinds of cockpits. I've been using this type mostly. Honestly, that's the only one I've used so far, because that one just makes the most sense for a small ship like this. The 2 other types of cockpits are opened up. There's no encasing to it. But your imagination is the only limit here. You can build them as small and as big as you want. There's a creative mode, showing off the ore detector here a little bit. I've seen some pretty crazy ships that people have built on the Steam Workshop and in YouTube videos. Because like I was thinking about building stuff like Millennium Falcon and USS Enterprise and stuff like that, and that ain't nothing that nobody's already done 100 times already. Oh, and that's the collector right that's in the middle there. Any ore that my drills miss and start floating off into space, if it comes in contact with that collector, it'll pick it up. So yeah, I'm showing off the ejector here. There's an ejector on the bottom of the ship there, so when the conveyor that's connected to the ejector, any ore that's in my cargo containers gets transferred through the conveyor into the ejector. You can see it coming out of the bottom there, behind or in front of the 3 thrusters on the bottom of the ship. All the ore will go from the cargo containers through the conveyor out of the ejector, and then from the ejector they fall right into the collector that's built into my base down there, that yellow hole right there. And then from that collector that's in the bottom of the platform, there's a conveyor that goes down into my large cargo container in the base. I'm showing off the conveyor a little bit there. The one little piece of conveyor that you can actually see sticking out of the ship, there's a little bit more to it within the armor of the ship, connecting the 2 cargo containers to the collector and then to the ejector. So that's my workhorse. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Obviously, I want to do more with it, and I want to start building more ships. You have one drill, and you start activating it. Your ship gets a little bit shaky. You kind of got to have a good bulky ship for it to stay steady. One drill doesn't do a whole lot, but once you put two drills on a ship, you really got to have a good sized bulky ship. Otherwise, the shaking of the drills will just move you all over the place, and it's really hard to control when you have your drills going. All right, so I shortened up the video a little bit there. I was just cutting out a little piece talking about the actual crafting of stuff and showing off the color palette and things like that, but I think I might do that in another video. I might go ahead and make a couple of these, but I really wanted to show this video off and show you guys what I've been up to. I know a lot of you have been asking about if I'm going to be coming back or not. It's just like, coming back to Twitch. If I wanted to, I would have to play Minecraft. That's really the only game I would like to stream that my computer can handle. Because like I keep saying, my computer's not the greatest in the world, and I would love to be able to stream this game, but it's just recording this video got really choppy. I got down to like 25 frames per second. It was between 25 and 30 while I was recording, and it really makes the game not very enjoyable when you're doing things like that. I just want to relax and have fun, and hopefully I'll be able to figure out what the problem is with the recording. I was actually using OBS to record this with. Maybe I'll try seeing if there's a different format I can put it under and make higher quality videos, because this one obviously was just kind of thrown together. I wasn't even planning on doing all this when I recorded it the first time, but it just turned out so well. Alright, so I got back into my ship here and powered it up, and we're going to go into my control panel. We're going to power the thrusters down just to save on a little bit of energy, and then turn the ejector on. And once I turn the ejector on, like I was talking about earlier, all the ore will fall out of the ejector and go into the collector, where it feeds into my cargo container. So there's a problem here. My collector is not picking up the ore. Wow, that shouldn't happen. Let me get back in there. We're going to power down the ship to stop the ore from coming out. And oh my goodness. What the hell? My cargo container with all my ore in it is gone. Son of a bitch got knocked out by a meteor. That's one of those oh shit moments you have in this game. You can lose everything in a heartbeat without even realizing it. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching.